American cupcake. American cupcake. It's having fun, just one little cupcake run. Driving coast to coast. He's the man with the most. He's got no time to boast. His truck is Naomi, the big white whale. She's the one rock that will never fail. Across the country, they won't sail. He's American cupcake. American cupcake. He's having fun, just watch your cupcake run. He's American cupcake. You know what else makes him great? He's been to all the lower 48 states. He's seen all 5 of the Great Lakes. He leaves all the others in his wake. This name's Cupcake, for God's sake. So you know damn sure he's not fake. Because he's American cupcake. American cupcake. He's having fun, just watch your cupcake run. He's American cupcake.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? So yeah, I'm on my phone and I'm in the new truck, and I don't have one of those cool big ass things. What's going on? I don't know one of those big ass things. What's going on, Mason? You know, the things that mount to the windshield. So I'm just using the vent mounted one, and the reason I'm using my phone is because my Wi-Fi sucks out here, but my phone is kick ass. So we're going to be doing the best we can. So thanks for joining me here. We are going to talk about I don't know for how long, because there's a couple of the shows on. The hell is downloading? Well, maybe it's this. All right, anyway. We're going to be talking about a book called Starship Troopers. If you are unaware, there was a movie, and yeah, this is my steering wheel. This sucks, dude. Totally. I thought this thing got 5G, but it does not. I'm so disappointed in my portable Wi-Fi. I was waiting for this to happen, and today it did. So as long as I am, as long as you can hear me and you can see me, let's do it. So, Starship Troopers. Starship Troopers, as everybody knows, was a movie in the late 90s, directed by Paul Verhoeven, the same director that, let's all smoke, everybody. Same director that did RoboCop, same director that did Total Recall. It is part of his space trilogy, as it is known in movie nerd parlance. And I loved it. It was a great movie. Bugs, alien bugs and action and everything like that. Loved it. I had no idea it was based on a book. And I am one of the kind of people that if there's a movie that's based on the book and I find out about it, I want to read the book. So I found out it was based on a book, and it was by a guy named Robert A. Heinlein. And I only knew of Robert A. Heinlein because I knew he was the author of a book called Stranger in a Strange Land. Stranger in a Strange Land is what basically started the free love hippie movement. And next week, we're going to probably be talking about that book. That's all I knew about Robert A. Heinlein. Well, let me tell you about Robert A. Heinlein. This guy was, I had no idea who he was. I'm just getting my notes here. Shit. Come on. There we go. All right. Shh. Don't spoil it. But yes, Gronk, the The Twitter AI, the XAI, that comes. Thank you, Rochi. Yes, Gronk the like button. Robert A. Heinlein was kind of a badass. I had no idea he was a nautical engineer. He was a naval officer. And he wanted to, in his sci-fi books, he wanted to emphasize scientific accuracy. Couple, if you didn't know, a couple strange facts about Robert A. Heinlein. He was a nudist. Learned that in my research. See, we here at Cupcake's Corner, we don't just hit the live button and then just try to riff and hopefully, things will come up. Just, you know what I'm talking about. We actually do research. We do show prep. We except for when shit doesn't work and I can't get on my computer and actually do it. With my. I mean, I do have this little. Where's my fucking remote control? I do have my fun little soundboard here. Or do I? Motherfucker. Just all kinds of fucked up. I hope you guys heard that shit. Anyway. So, Robert A. Heinlein. He was a nudist. His whole family served in the military, and he can trace that back. Oh, that's awesome. That's very cool. That's very cool. So then you probably know a lot about what I'm about to say. Yes, it is crazy that there are actually shows on YouTube that do show prep and research for things that they're going to do. Crazy, huh? But yeah, he can trace his he can trace his ancestry back to the Revolutionary War, which I thought was cool. Another cool little tidbit, Starship Troopers, the book I'm about to talk about, was he was a children's author first. He did children's books, like sci-fi books, and Starship Troopers was supposed to be a children's book, but it's not a children's book at all. Like it's not a children's book in the least. Liquid Cryptid, his as he mentioned before, Stranger in a Strange Land, that was the very first book to become that was very first science fiction book. Let me rephrase that. Very first science fiction book to become a bestseller. I thought that was a cool bit of info. He wrote 32 books. He's got 59 short stories. A lot of those short stories were the children's books he wrote. Children's stories. Yeah, you're seeing how the sausage is made. Like I normally put my phone up on my steering wheel, so you can't see when I'm reading my notes. But yes, I have my notes here for when I talk about stuff. But at least it's show prep, There's a big three of the science fiction authors was Robert A. Heinlein, Isaac Asimov, and Arthur C. Clarke. I actually have Arthur C. Clarke's book 2001. Yeah, no problem, dude. Yeah, no, you got BYB. Go for it, dude. Thank you for stopping in. Hit the gromp the like button before you leave, Rochi. He was one of the first science fiction authors to actually go in the mainstream. Oh, I've got 2001. I will probably do that one sooner or later. And a lot of he coined a lot of phrases. He coined grok from Stranger in a Strange Land, Waldo, which is like robotic arms and that you control controlling a robot. He also made the phrase pay it forward. He made that into the mainstream in one of his books. One of the characters loans another character some money, and he says, I'll pay you back. And he said, no, don't do that. Pay it forward to someone in need. I thought that was cool. He popularized the phrase Space Marine, and in one of his books, what's Time Enough for Love, he may have invented the concept of being your own grandfather. In this book, Time Enough for Love, the character goes back in time, meets his mother, and I thought that was a cool bit of info. He was also Ray Bradbury's mentor. We all know Ray Bradbury from Fahrenheit 451. He was a stonemason, so he probably knows the secret handshake and everything. There were two different, I guess sources. One source said he earned a total of 11 Hugo Awards, 4 of them when he was alive, and then 7 posthumously. And then another source that I found said he only won. Yeah, catch you later, man. Hit the like button. Thank you, Pineapple. Thanks for showing up, brother. Another source said that he had won 6 Hugos, 4 when he was alive and 2 posthumously. So I'll have to do a little bit more research on that. And in 1974, he was named the first science fiction Grandmaster. So yeah, yo, what's up, Crumb? Hello, Andrea. So that was cool. I've got some quotes here before we get into the book from Robert A. Heinlein. Let me get rid of this comment so we can. Yes, this quote: I am free because I know that I am morally responsible for everything I do. I am free no matter what rules surround me. If I find them tolerable, I'll tolerate them. If I find them too obnoxious, I break them. I am free because I know that I am alone and morally responsible for everything I do. Fucking A. There's another one I found. No amount of force can control a free man whose mind is free. No, not the wreck, not the atomic bomb, not anything you can conquer not anything. You can't conquer a free man. The most you can do is kill him. If I'm not mistaken, I think those do come from Starship Troopers. This is actually a print you can buy. Everything is theoretically impossible until it's done. There's another kind of long one. Human beings should be able to change a diaper. Oh, this right here. This I thought was magnificent. A human being should be able to change a diaper, plan an invasion, butcher a hog, con a ship, design a building, write a sonnet, balance accounts, build a wall, set a bone, comfort the dying, take orders, give orders. Notice the order of that. Take orders is first. Give orders, cooperate, act alone. Notice which one is first. Cooperate, then act alone. Solve equations, analyze new problems, pitch manure, program a computer, cook a tasty meal, fight efficiently, die gallantly. Specialization is for insects. How profound is that? Like how profound of a quote is that? That I couldn't believe that. That when I read that, I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. We got this one. Science fiction. Oh, let me see right there. I think that science fiction, even the corniest of it, even the most outlandish of it, no matter how badly it's written, has a distinct therapeutic value. Because all of that it is a primary postulate that the world does change. I cannot overemphasize the importance of that idea. Now, I had to take my glasses off. Now, here is another one of an author that we all know, George R.R. Martin. He wrote, he's the author of the book series A Song of Fire and Ice, which is what the TV show Game of Thrones is based on. I have read all 5 of those books. But this is what he says about Robert A. Heinlein. The best writing advice I had was in Heinlein's Rules for Writers by Robert A. Heinlein. His first rule is that you must write, and I was already doing that. But his second rule is you must finish what you write, and that had a big impact on me. Now, if you're a fan of George R.R. Martin, you know The Winds of Winter is coming out. So, like it says right there, you must finish what you write. And he's a big fan of what Robert A. Heinlein said about finishing what you write. And then I read this the other day. Exactly. Precisely. Oh, I didn't know that. I did not know that. Hey, ¿qué onda? ¿Qué pasa, calabaza? What's up, Big Daddy Dodo? Nice to see you here. So, Starship Troopers. Let's get into it. And we do have, where the fuck are they? We do have a science fiction based raffle. I didn't count what I have, so I don't know how many prizes I'm going to be able to pass out. Let me see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2 people are going to be big winners. Okay. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got 3 big winners. And how many more? We got 1, 2, 3. You'll get one of these. All right. So I'm going to have 4 winners today. Okay, I'll check it out later. Thank you. So Starship Troopers. Starship Troopers, the only similarity that it has with the movie is that the main character is Johnny Rico, and there is a pilot named Carmen, and they fight bugs. They fight alien arachnids. That's basically the only. I mean, there's a Sergeant Zim, and then there's a, the Instructor Dubois. A lot of the characters are the same. But as far as the plot, it is definitely not at all the same as the movie. The book starts out with Johnny Rico, who's the main character, getting ready for a drop. He is a drop. He's a drop cap trooper, mobile infantry, and he's in a pod in a spaceship. And he always gets the shakes before drop. Get the fuck! I'm gonna load of flies because I opened the window when I smoked. Fuck. And but in Starship Troopers, it's you get the first, and I didn't take a picture, so I didn't get it up here. But power armor, and this book was written in 1959. Power armor. Powered armor in 1959. That's the basis of pretty much Warhammer. What else? Science fiction RPGs. Like that's a power armor, and they go into the specifics of it. They go into the specifics of doing a jump with the power armor. That when you wear power armor, right? Exactly. Oh, then you need to read the book, baby. Thank you for showing up, Spurg Snake. I appreciate it, man. Grant the like button. Yeah. In 1959, he was writing Starship Troopers, And they use power armor, and the power armor, there's three kinds of power armor. There's the regular infantry power armor. There is the scout power armor, which is lighter and faster, not as heavily armed, not as it doesn't have as much ammunition and artillery. And then there's the officer's power armor, which has you know, it's got more bells and whistles. But basically, so the book starts out with Johnny Rico at the planet of the Skinnies. At the very beginning of the book, the Skinnies were their main enemy, and they go to this planet, and they were told not to engage. They were just there to disrupt. They were there to, blow up buildings, but not really engage the Skinnies. And hey, what's up? Hey, Tiff. Thanks for stopping in. They weren't there to engage or kill any of the Skinnies. They were there just to destroy, just to destroy the land and stuff. Then we go to a flashback to where Johnny Rico was in high school. And in this timeline of Earth, Johnny Rico, who's Filipino, in this timeline, to become a citizen of the Terran, Terran is Earth, you need to serve in the army, basically the army. That is why this book is considered to be very fascistic. There's a lot of critics of the book will say it has lots of fascist overtones. I can see that, absolutely. I'm going to talk about one of my favorite parts in the book in a minute here. But he has a teacher of it's a history teacher, but you don't need to pass this you don't need to pass this class. It just teaches it teaches about, basically, it was I guess you could consider it brainwashing for this timeline of people. It was, how great it was. That's why I said those first two quotes. I'd have to go back to the book to make sure, but those first two quotes I read from Heinlein, I think those are definitely from Starship Troopers. They go, and in this class, the teacher, Mr. Dubois, doesn't know their names. Doesn't he just, and he was obviously in the army, because he's his arm is blown off and he has a stump, and when he would call on one of the students, he would just point his stump at somebody and you answer this question. And one of my favorite parts of the book, he talks about, did you know that back in the 20th century that prisoners were, you couldn't use cruel and unusual punishment against prisoners? And they had a big discussion in the class about it. And he goes, he's like, why do you think that's, why do you think that was a thing? He's like, well, because it's cruel, it's for human nature. You can't be cruel, because it's cruelty to another human. The teacher goes, he's like, I will disagree with you there. He says punishment must be cruel and unusual, so that the perpetrator of the crime of which you are delegating the punishment, this is not a quote, I'm not quoting from the book, I'm paraphrasing. Punishment must be cruel and unusual, so that the person that is receiving the punishment doesn't repeat the crime that they did to receive the cruel and unusual punishment. That resonated with me. I mean, I'm sorry, maybe I'm, again, this is how the sausage is being made, but that absolutely resonated with me. Like, oh my God, that makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense. So then they graduate high school, and they his best friend Carl, that and Johnny Rico was a rich, he was rich. His father was a business owner. Carl, his best friend, was poor. So Carl was, just like a lot of boys, he was going to join the military because he was poor and didn't have a future, and he wanted to be a citizen. Johnny Rico, yeah, it makes sense above an eye for an eye. I just thought that part made perfect sense to me. It really resonated. But they go to he goes to once you're 18, you can sign up for military service, and so Johnny was just walking with his friend, and then he sees Carmen, who was this cute girl in his class, one of his friends, that one of his part of his clique, and she was joining too. And just because, and Robert A. Heinlein, there was one of the things I went to, he some people would have called him a misogynist, some people would call him a sexist, but he really got the feeling of a teenage boy, of a guy, of a boy when it comes to girls. I'll get to that in a second too. But so Carmen was, but at the same time, I'm bringing this up too. Carmen was signing up for for military service, and so she asks Johnny, are you signing up? Only because this pretty girl was signing up for service did Johnny Rico say, "Of course I am." So he signs up, and so right away they go to where they sign up, and just like in the movie, there was a guy with no arms and legs, or one arm, and he's really nice to Carmen. He's like, "Okay, my dear," and then he goes, "What do you two want?" And so they sign up, and Carl, who was really smart, really smart. He wanted to do, some, engineering, and that's basically it. That's basically the rule of life. Boy wants girl, totally. Um, and so they're signing in, what they want to do, and so Johnny's looking at they didn't do, Johnny's looking at the list. Okay, pilot, tactical engineer, all these specified parts of the military. And he said, paraphrasing once again, for shits and grins, I put dog soldier and mobile infantry. So they go through the testing, and he's 100% cleared. He's fully fit to be a soldier. So then he goes to his interview, and the first thing the interviewer asks him goes, "So you like dogs?" It's brought up that all of his cognitive tests, none of it he qualified for. So the only two things that he may have qualified for was to be a dog soldier and to be mobile infantry. And here's the part with the dog soldiers. In this timeline, they have neo dogs. So the guy asks him, like, "So you like dogs?" He's like, "Yeah." She's like, "You ever have a pet dog?" He's like, "Yeah." Shut the fuck up. Did you ever have a pet dog? And he's like, "Yeah, we had a pet dog." And he's like, "Did he sleep in your bed with you?" He's like, "No, my mom wouldn't let me have it in my room." And the guy makes a check mark, and then they explain about the neo dogs, that the soldier and the neo dog are one and the same. Then he goes into Johnny remembers one time a guy with a neo dog went to his school, and the dog talks, but because dogs don't have vocal cords, they whine and whimper, but the soldier is trained to understand the dog's language. The dogs are smarter than regular dogs. So the dog and the soldier are one and the same, kind of like a canine patrolman with his dog. And he goes on, the soldier goes on to explain that with the neo dogs, if the neo dog's partner, if the soldier gets killed in action, they euthanize. Mobile infantry is the infantry. All hail the Roger Young. Absolutely. So that, he said that they put down the dog because the dog wouldn't be able to handle life, and he wouldn't be able to retrain with another soldier. And if the dog gets killed or buys a farm, that's what they call it. Then the soldier has to, he has to go to therapy. He's got to do all this extra stuff. And the guy who's actually giving Johnny the interview was a dog soldier. So anyway, he gets loaded to the mobile infantry, which is a grunt. He goes back to his barracks. His roommate at the barracks and the guy talks up the mobile infantry. Like right here, like Liquid Cryptid said, the mobile infantry is the military. Then he goes, the mobile infantry is the military. So he goes to training camp, and then we meet Sergeant Zim, who, and the training part is good. They go into their training. They go into how with the powered armor suits. Then there's this I should have wrote down their names. I really didn't think I was going to do a review on this until the Neil. Oh, and the reason why I just threw this on the Audible because I was bored, and it so I think it's like 8 hours on Audible. I was going to California, so it got me through the mountains because I lost signal on the phone. Couldn't. So I really didn't think I was going to do this, and then I found out that Neil Blomkamp, the guy who did District 9 and Chappie and Elysium, he's actually doing doing Starship Troopers, and supposedly it's going to be an adaptation of the book, not a remake of the movie, which I was ecstatic about. So that's why I'm doing this review. I read the book so you don't have to, but please, by all means, read this book. It's great. I believe the guy's name is Hendricks. Could be wrong on that. So they're out on a training mission, and so Sergeant Zim and his corporals bring the soldier Hendricks, and and Sergeant Zim has a black eye, and so the platoon leader is there, and he's like, "What's going on?" He's like, "Oh, well, he didn't follow an order, and that's my train of thought. Oh, he didn't follow an order, and we're bringing him up, for punishment." And so the platoon leader goes, "Do you have anything to say in your defense?" Yeah, that is cool. It's gonna, if they do it, if he does it right, because I did like District 9. If he does it right and he does follow the book, the power armor and everything, and he did do Elysium. So I'm excited that Neil Blomkamp will do the movie justice. So he asked the soldier, "Do you have anything to say in your defense?" And he's like, "Yeah, I totally do. He laid hands on me." And the platoon leader goes, "Well, you're mistaken to think that the platoon leader can't use corporal punishment to whip you back into shape." And the reason why he was in trouble was they were running. They told him to drop, and when you're told to drop, yeah, right. When you're told to drop, you're supposed to drop and freeze. Well, when he dropped, he dropped right on an anthill. So he got up and moved, and that's when I was going to say Invader Zim. That's when Sergeant Zim came and kind of cracked him with the those batons that they have. Cracked him with the baton, and so the platoon leader goes, "Yeah. So what? We told you to drop. You drop when we say drop." It's like, what if your movement would have caused the enemy to see you move and then wiped out the entire platoon? If we tell you to drop, you drop and you don't move until we tell you to move. And then that's when he says, "He laid hands on me." He's like, "Oh, you must be under the delusion that that we can't do that to discipline you." And then the kid says, and then he hit Sergeant Zim. That's why Zim had the black eye. And the platoon leader goes, "You did what?" Like, yeah, I hit him. So then he gets on the phone. We need a court martial. We need this. And he's like, "What are you talking about? I just hit him. Just give me." Oh, fuck! I forgot to mention this too. At any time, if you want to leave military service, all you have to do is say, "I'd like to leave, please." They'll give you your paperwork, and you're out. Nothing happens. No punishment. No nothing. And you get to go, but you can never become a citizen. You can never go back to the military. You can never, ever become a citizen. So he comes back, then he's like, "Yeah, I hit him." He's like, "You did what?" He's like, "Yeah, I hit him." So then as the platoon leader's calling all, for the court martial, he's like, "Listen, just give me my paperwork and I'll get out of here." He's like, "No." So he gets the punishment there is caning. They whip him, 10 lashes with a whip. And that was a pretty rough part of the book. It goes into the, was 1, 2. So there was like 5 or 10 seconds between each crack of the whip. And then he goes, Johnny Rico himself gets, he in one of his training exercises, he becomes acting platoon leader, and he makes a mistake, and his they're training in power armor, and then he does something, then his power armor shuts off. He's like, "What the hell?" And he's like, "This is only in training," but his actions would have caused the whole platoon to have been taken over by the enemy. So he gets 5. He does get 5 lashes. And Zim, who kind of, Zim sees that, Zim gives him, like the mouth guards you have in football. He gives him one of those, and he's like, bite down on this. It helps. So, so then, they go off. He becomes a soldier, becomes a mobile infantry. They talk about the skinnies, how they talk about how the war with the skinnies began. And the skinnies are aliens that they're about 7 foot tall. They don't wear any clothes. And he talks about his unit in the Roger Young. Roger Young is a spaceship, and this is where people call Robert A. Heinlein a sexist. As we know, women are more apt to be fighter pilots, and same in this book that was written in 1959. The pilots of the spaceships are women. Oh my God. The pilots of the spaceships are women. So they, where was I going with this? Well, anyway, they go, and then they talk more about, they talk a lot more about the power armor. That's when they get into the power armor, about how it's just an extension. It's just an exoskeleton. It's an extension of your body. How it goes into the 3 different kinds of power armor. Then it goes into, what, the payload of the power armor. You got grenades. You got, like Boba Fett's got the fire, Oh, here we go. There are 2 Starship Troopers books on Audible. The original was read by R.C. Bray. R.C. Bray. That's the one. That's the one I had. Dude, that guy is awesome. R.C. Bray is an excellent narrator. He gets into the book. I'm going to get to that at the end. I don't know, Liquid Cryptid, if you've ever seen one of my book reviews, because I only do Audible because I'm in the truck, so I listen to it all the time. That's part of the review, is the performance of the narrator. But yes, R.C. Bray, that's the one. Right. But yeah, R.C. Bray, he's a great narrator. Great narrator. I should have. See, I didn't expect it. I didn't expect to do a review of this book, so I didn't write any. I didn't write any poignant points down. So I need to go off of memory. Well, they go on about buying a farm. You know, they well, okay, so they go they go off. Now then Johnny, he he decides to make it a career. He decides to be a career in the in the mobile infantry. He goes to his platoon leader, and he's talking to his platoon leader. This is the probably the second part of the book, second act of the second book, the second part of the book where he's actually in the army. And his platoon leader, he's talking to him. His platoon leader already has the paperwork filled out for him to he was basically just waiting for Johnny to say, yes, I want to be a career soldier. So he goes to cadet training, and during cadet training, they're third lieutenants, so they're officers in name only. So they talks about the schooling that they have to do at cadet training. They go into a lot of that, and when they finish the cadet training, they go off onto a ship. And of course, Johnny Rico is hoping to go on the Roger Young, but he doesn't get it. And there's a cool part where there's three guys out of I want to say there was 20. Could be, don't quote me on that. There were 20 guys that went into cadet training, but only 3 made it. So the head of the cadet school, these 3 make it, so they're getting their chevrons, their pips. And the earring, I need to mention that too. So Johnny he's just a soldier, and he's looking at this one soldier. I digress here for a second. He's looking at this one soldier, and he's got this earring, and it's skull and crossbones, and he's got a bunch of crossbones under it. And he's like, man, that's cool. I think it's cool to get one of those. So then he goes to go, hey man, like, where'd you get that earring? That's pretty cool. I've never seen it before. And Johnny said he always wore jewelry. He always wore earrings. And the guy goes, you're new, aren't you? He's like, yeah. He's like, all right, well, you'll find out how to get one. Well, you get the skull and crossbones when you make your first drop as a soldier, as a mobile infantry, as a drop soldier. And every bone underneath is a successful mission. But on the Roger Young, his ship, they don't, we don't fuck with that. We're soldiers here. We don't fuck with jewelry. So I thought that was a cool part. So they're getting their chevrons, their lieutenant chevrons. And so the guy, the head of the cadet school, goes into the closet, pulls out one, and he's like, okay. He's like, these chevrons, belonged to, and these are temporary chevrons for, cadets. And he's like, I expect these back. And, he gives one set to a guy. He gets like, now, unfortunately, he's like, these have a bit of bad luck on them. None of the cadets that have worn these have survived. So you'll notice there's a brown discoloration on one of them. Please don't clean that off. And he goes, I hope. He's like, are you going to be able to? It doesn't say I hope. He's like, you going to break the curse on these? And the guy takes them. He's like, yeah. And then Johnny's the last one to get his chevrons, and the platoon, not the platoon, the head of the cadet school goes, I got this letter. He's like, do you know a Mr. Dubois? He's like, yeah. Like, yeah, I know Mr. Dubois. He was my I can't remember the class name, but yeah, he was my so-and-so teacher. He's like, oh, well, he made a special request. And he got a letter from Mr. Dubois before when he got into the mobile infantry saying, it's like, Johnny, he's like, mobile infantry, that was my old unit. He's like, oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you. So he was, being part of the mobile infantry, like lifted. Thank you. History and moral philosophy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, history and moral philosophy. That was the class that Mr. Dubois taught. Liquid cryptid. Thank you very much. Thank you. So Mr. Dubois requested that Johnny get his chevrons when he was just a cadet. And I'll be honest with you guys, that part, when you're reading it, especially with what was the guy's name? R.C. Bray. When he's narrating that part to you and the way he says it, and when the cadet who had Mr. Dubois or Captain Dubois or Colonel Dubois, I think it was, Lipton Quickred, if you can correct me on that, when he said that, he requested that Johnny Rico get his chevrons that he used when he was a cadet, and when the head of the school said no, those were lost. I'm not gonna lie, guys, that part choked me up. Like that, the way the narrator reads that part of the book, that made me choke up. Like, oh my God, that's how impactful this narrator is. So if you've got Audible, I absolutely suggest, I'm telling you right now, 5 cupcakes on this fucking one for the book and the narrator. So he got he got his chevrons, and they so then he's with his crew, and the head, is it the captain of the ship he's on? He gets to sit with the officers now when they eat. He he explains to him that when you give an order, like you're not making a request. He's like, you're giving an order. They will listen to you. And he gets one of the guys that he's above. Yeah, you need to check it out. Absolutely. This guy was older than him, and so but he's fast track boss. So he he's like, I guess we have to solve this. So he takes the guy into the bathroom, and they come out, and he's like, all right. He's like, guys, this guy's legit. Basically saying that Johnny kind of, Lieutenant Colonel Dubois, thank you. Yeah, he, they obviously had a fight, and he earned, he earned his bones. He's made his bones. So they go on to explain, about their, the fighting, and so then he goes, yeah, your sergeant, while he, is going to be more experienced than you, you outrank him. So go to your sergeant, use your sergeant, talk to your sergeant. So he does. Ace, yes. Thank you. My God, what would I do without you? Oh my gosh. I don't know if you're part of my postcard club, but DM me on Twitter if you're not already. And I think I may have to, what do I got? 1, 2, 3, 4. I may have to give you one of the prizes I'm going to give away today. So the sergeant, he earns the sergeant's respect. And at the end of this part of the book, it's toward the end of the book, he earns the sergeant's respect, and he said in the book, it says, yeah, Sergeant and I knew each other. We've known each other for a long time. We've never, we never exchanged each other's name, but I knew his name. He knew mine. And that sergeant was Sergeant Zim. So the sergeant when he was a third lieutenant, the sergeant that his drill sergeant. Oh, awesome. Well, DM me on Twitter if you want to. I'll explain in a second. But yeah, his drill sergeant who, come on, you apes, you want to live forever, turned out to be the sergeant that he outranked on this ship. So that part too also kind of made me choke up. That and I knew that, and I already knew that. But yeah, that was so they go after cadet school, and throughout this whole time. Oh, okay, cool. Well, I for people on my postcard club, in my postcard club, I do raffles for them, and I give away prizes at when I do streams and stuff. Like if I go, when I go to places, when I go to like roadside attractions or something, and I get souvenirs. I get souvenirs and I send them out. So yeah, Johnny Rico's dad was absolutely against him going in the military, basically disowned him. His dad wanted him to be second in command of the company, and then eventually the company will be his. But then Buenos Aires. Oh, you want a lot more than that. Check next week in your mail, brother. I'm not sure if you saw the show last week. The bugs attack Buenos Aires, and Johnny Rico's mom was there, and his mom dies. So because of that, his dad joins, and then he sees his dad at he's waiting to he was waiting to get on a ship, and his dad wanted to be stationed on the Roger Young. He wasn't there. They got to talk for a little bit. There's a lot I'm missing too. Like he meets up with Carmen, and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, Carmen!" So and then when they talk about going on leave, there's a big long, Johnny Rico's like, "Yeah, one of the best things about it, girls." But I'm going on about an hour here, and I'm actually going to be on Bobby Nick's show tonight. If I can, is this working any better? Fuck. If my phone will work on Evie Mux, I'll be on Movies with 2K. We're doing Battlefield Earth, which sucked, but it's going to be awesome. The book is horrible too. So the Rico, he meets his dad. He gets done with his his tour as a cadet. He becomes an officer. He gets back to the Roger Young, and they become Rico's Roughnecks, and the Roughnecks were it was an alliteration on another, the other leader of the platoon, and he bought a farm, but he became a soldier, and that's basically how the book ends. And this is the part where a lot of the critics say that that's where where it's got fascist tendencies. Right? Yeah, Rochek's Roughnecks. Thank you. My God, I feel like such a moron now since you're such a big fan of the book. Again, like I said before, I had no idea Robert A. Heinlein was the man that he was. I am going to be reading a lot more of his books now. I actually just got, and that's why I'm bringing this up right now. This book was like I said, people criticized it as being fascist. People criticized it as Johnny Rico was brainwashed because at the beginning of the book, he's just some dumb kid. And then at the very end of the book, he's a gung-ho, kill-em-all soldier. And hey, Kahuna, what's going on, brother? So it was seen as a very conservative book, if you will. But his very next book, 2 years later, was Stranger in a Strange Land, which, as I mentioned before, is basically what started the free love movement of the 60s. Starship Troopers was written in 1959, released in 1959. Stranger in a Strange Land was released in 1961. So only 2 years. All right, there's probably very few people into Heinlein. Cool. There's so it was the book that basically started the free love movement. So he went from one extreme to the other extreme, and I did I had an Audible credit pop up, and as I was doing my research for this book right here, I decided to get it, and I'm going to go through it this week, and hopefully I can do these book reviews once a week on Sundays, or I can do some type of review, if not a book or a movie. But yes, next week I am going to be doing a review on Stranger in a Strange Land with Valentine Michael Smith. So look forward to that. But yes, if you are on Audible and you have a credit, I absolutely recommend Robert A. Heinlein and the R.C. Bray narrated version. 5 Cupcake'S, absolutely, for Robert A. Heinlein and Starship Troopers. Now let's get to the fun part. Since we were talking about science fiction, and one of the greatest science fiction movies ever, as we know, are the greatest science fiction trilogy, if you will. Oh my God, no! From what I was from the videos on YouTube, the Wikipedia, the stuff I read, oh my God, I was shocked at how much of an influence this guy was on everything that has to do with science fiction. Literally everything. If you like science fiction in today, 2025, in some way, shape, or form, that science fiction thing that you are enjoying, be it a video game, book, movie, was influenced in some way, shape, or form by Robert A. Heinlein. Bottom line. So since we are talking about, let me do it like this. So we're talking about sci-fi. Hopefully this works. One of the greatest sci-fi trilogies ever in the history of sci-fi trilogies is, of course, anybody in the chat, can you guess? Star Wars, correct. So, Grandma Cupcake, who, as Big Daddy Dodo said, he won a sloth. He won a handmade Grandma Cupcake crocheted sloth. Grandma Cupcake likes to crochet, so whenever she finds a new pattern, she now will. She really didn't like to make new stuff, but now that she knows I have a channel and I have a prize giveaway, she makes it, and winners can win stuff. So we all know those plastic icy pops, right? Right? The plastic icy pops. You get the frozen, you put the little plastic tube with the juice, you put it in the freezer, they freeze, you cut the top off or you bite it off, and then you squeeze from the bottom, and then deliciousness and iciness come out. So we're going to pretend that this yellow piece of paper is one of those icy pops. Okay, can we agree on that? So use your mind. I'm asking you with my brain. Use your imagination, and this yellow piece of paper. Well, you know what I mean. So this yellow piece of paper is an icy pop. Grandma Cupcake found a pattern. I couldn't believe this. And I just was in her hometown, so I was able to see her. That's why I was able to get these. She found oh, look at that. Big Daddy Dodo has a picture of the sloth right there. She found a pattern for, and I'm disappointed because she forgot to put buttons on there for the buttons. But yeah, this makes icy pops into lightsabers. So, and apparently they do fit because my son who lives with them, and kind of because they're older now, so yes, an icy pop koozie, but you could make it into a lightsaber. So she didn't make an even number. So I've got 3 sets of 4. 1, 2, 3. And liquid cryptid, if you want. Let me make sure there's not another one in here. Yes, there is. All right. Okay, so then we have 4 complete sets. So, Liquid Cryptid, because of all your help today, if you want to DM me on Twitter, one of these, a set is yours, and she also, a lot of people, Andrea has some of these. We have crocheted American cupcakes. Right on. Right on. All good. All good. So I will be giving away these later. So we've got 4. We're going to have 4 winners here. So Big Daddy Dodo, keep your fingers crossed. All right, here we go. Spinny, 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 spinny. All right. Oh. Get rid of that one. That person is no longer. The message me said their P.O. box, they canceled it. So once they get a new one, they will get back to me. All right. There we go. Spinning, spinning, spinning. All right. Big Daddy Dodo, you're winner of the icy pop koozies. Good job, dude. So right there, the first winner, Big Daddy Dodo. And again, let's spin it, spin it, spin it. And the winner is iDabbler. He just recently won a keychain from the dinosaur park in Cabazon, California. All right, number 3, I mean, spinning, spinning. Who do we got? Gino Bisconte. I will have to, yes, he's part of my postcard club. I'll have to give an explanation. Oh, you know what you know what I'm going to do, guys? I'm going to buy some icy pops, and I will send those along with the lightsaber handles. And the 4th and final winner of Cupcake'S raffle today Joey C, big winner of Cupcake'S raffle. He hates me now. But of course, I yeah, he's totally part of the postcard club. So let me do I gotta put a envelope here, so I will write that down. All right, so again, we did an hour. Thanks to everybody who showed up. Liquid Cryptid, thank you for all of your help today. Tune in next Sunday. I don't know where I'm going. I'm in South Carolina right now. So North Carolina. Yes, I'm in North Carolina because I'm gonna pick up in Charlotte. So I'm in North Carolina. I don't know where this week, if I'm gonna go to someplace cool, but hit that Gronk the like and subscribe. Tell your friends if they want to see stuff from across the country, or get some insight on movies. Oh my God. The worst part of that book was it's 47 hours on Audible. I got through 15 of it. I couldn't get through it. My favorite part of that book was they went to Scotland, and like, oh yeah, no, this guy, he was wearing like a skirt, and the motherfucker's name was Angus McTavish. My God. What is it? What's his name? From Dianetics, the maker of Scientology, whatever the fuck his name was. You got through the whole thing? God bless you. I know. I couldn't believe that. He went to Mexico, and then the guy had a big sombrero and a big mustache. His name was Juan Sanchez. Yeah, over 40 hours. L. Ron Hubbard, thank you, Spurg Snake. Oh, he's such a horrible author. But yeah, I may eventually do that. But yeah, check out Movies with 2K on Bobby Nick 1978 on YouTube. The Bobby Nick Show on Rumble. Hopefully my phone can take care of. Yeah, he was horrible. Hopefully my phone can get on EVMux, because my Wi-Fi on my little device sucks, and I'm upset about that. So yeah, winners check your mail. I will get these out sometime next week, and next Sunday I will be doing a review on Stranger in a Strange Land, again by Robert A. Heinlein, the father of science fiction. I'll say it. So everybody, thank you for showing up. Thank you for everything. He was just an ass. He was. Absolutely. Thank you, Big Daddy Dodo. So I will catch you guys on the flip side. I'm going to see if my phone will work here for EVMux. And we will catch you later. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Reviews and stories all the